Rules of translation. So far, we have studied transformations without making reference to the coordinates of the vertices of the figures. Using these coordinates, we can derive analytical rules for each translation. Let's derive those rules by examining the figures in the next slide. The brown image, that's right over here, is formed from the black pre-image. Let's examine the coordinates of the figures to derive a rule. We will first fill out the table with the coordinates of the points on this graph, which is taken from the previous slide. Then we will subtract the pre-image coordinates over here, again the color matches this guy, from the image coordinates down here, and that's right over here, x prime and y prime. We will first fill out the table with the coordinates of the points on this graph, which is taken from the previous slide. Then we will subtract the pre-image coordinates from the image coordinates to see the change. So let's just do one of these. We'll do this row right over here. So A or A prime, the image is prime, and negative 4, 1, right? This is the x prime coordinate, and the y prime coordinate is right over here. That's this point. The pre-image is minus 2 and 7. That's right up here. So there's A and there's A prime. And if you'd like, pause the video to check that the rest of the rows are correct. Here we have subtracted the pre-image coordinates from the image coordinates. And here's our translation here. Delta x and delta y, where delta x is going to equal x prime minus x. Delta y is y prime minus y, and hopefully the rules for the translation become clear here. Because look what we have over here. Each row is the same. Delta x is always minus 2, and delta y is always minus 6. So if you'd like, once again, pause the video and check to make sure that the math is right for the three rows. We'll be examining these last two columns here. If delta x and delta y are the same for each vertex, then this is a valid transformation. And that's true over here. Delta x is x prime minus x yields delta x. If that is positive, then the points on the figure shift to the right. If delta x is negative, then the points on the figure shift to the left. And we rewrite this equation as x prime equals x plus delta x. Same thing for y, except in this case, if delta y is positive, the points on the figure shift up. If it is negative, then the points on the figure shift down. Let's put this into a transformation equation using the below table. Translating to the left or right uses the x coordinates. Translating up or down uses the y coordinates. The image is 2 units to the left and 6 units down of the pre-image. The x-coordinate decreases by 2 and the y-coordinate decreases by 6. So we have x comma y changing to x minus 2 comma y minus 6, or the new image location x prime y prime is x minus 2 y minus 6, or we can express it as a vector where we have minus 2 over minus 6. Example 1 for our rules of translation. The brown image is formed from the black pre-image. Examine the coordinates of the figures to derive a rule. And we'll work that through on the next few slides. First, fill out the table with the coordinates of the points on this graph. So let's start with the image, which is the brown color. That's this guy over here. And we'll just put D and D prime here for the pre-image and image. Minus 2, 0 is right here. Okay, that's the image. And the pre-image is at minus 6, 1. That would be this point over here. So we've got the beginnings of our table there. Now we have to do the delta x and delta y. Subtract the pre-image coordinates from the image coordinates to find delta x and delta y. So let's start here. That's negative 1 minus a negative 5. What's that going to be? 4. That's delta x. Let's check out the y now. Y prime is 3 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And again, please pause the video if you'd like and go through each row and verify it for yourself. And what does it mean that all the numbers here, all the delta x and the delta y are the same for each row? That means it's a valid translation. Now we want to find our rule, and delta x, right over here, that was x prime minus x, and that came out to be 4. Delta y is y prime minus y, and that's negative 1. In words, the image is translated 4 to the right and 1 down from the pre-image. So we have the image being translated 4 to the right and 1 down from the pre-image. We represent that mathematically as x comma y. Okay, this will be the pre-image. You add 4 to the x component and subtract 1 from the y component. Another way to show it is that x prime y prime, which is the image, is equal to x plus 4 y minus 1, or show it as a vector, where we have 4 over negative 1.